G'day YouTube, Aussie FIFA HD, and welcome back to yet another FIFA 21 tutorial on the channel. You guys have asked for it and I'm about to deliver it. I posted on the YouTube community section asking for you guys to comment down below what you want for endgame tutorials in this dead period of FIFA 21, and one came to mind, and that is the top 3 broken mechanics in FIFA 21. So without further ado, let's get into the intro, and then I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the top 3 broken mechanics endgame in FIFA 21.
Griezmann, 3 men around him to somehow find some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
He's made himself the tiniest bit of space.
Almost feels like a bit of a taunt. Didn't really go for it. Oh! It's a display game. Absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest.
We talked about Aussie FIFA. He's not here to make up the numbers.
Utilising the byline. My God, is this overpowered in FIFA 21? Is it a game mechanic? I don't know about that. Not really, but I'm going to still put it into this episode of the top 3 broken game mechanics in FIFA 21. The reason being is because for some reason, driving towards the byline and cutting it back with an R1 pass seems to work. It seems to always score myself some goals, and not even an R1 pass, sometimes a double tap pass, which is the lob pass. It is a tutorial on the channel as well, so go and check that out. But one thing I find is that the defense stays quite stagnant when you drive towards the byline, and a lot of the time your attacking players make those runs into the gaps where you can pass it to them, and it's an easy tap in for that goal. For me, driving towards the byline makes it as number 1 as the broken mechanic, because I utilise it all the time, and in my opinion, in my analysis of all of the mechanics in the game that are available to us, it definitely makes the top 3 in my opinion. But without further ado, we're going to jump into number 2, the top 3 FIFA 21 broken mechanics. I mean, it just had to make it, didn't it? The directional nutmeg. What an overpowered skill move this is this year in FIFA 21. No one really realised how good it was until you could say the back end of FIFA 21. It was quite interesting because, you know, a lot of people were using that directional nutmeg, the bridge skill, but then they realised, wow, this directional nutmeg is just as overpowered. It seems to give them a very good speed boost, and you're able to burst off into the gaps. So specifically, the diagonal variation of the directional nutmeg, it just always seems to glitch through the defense, and yeah, for me, I mean, it definitely has to make the top 3 broken mechanics. And it wouldn't be an Aussie FIFA tutorial without teaching you guys this, just in case you don't know. All you need to do for the directional nutmeg is hold in R1 and L1, or it's LB and RB on Xbox, and use that right analog stick to press either direction wherever you want to perform the directional nutmeg. But as I was saying before, the actual diagonal angle is the best variation to use because it gives you the best speed boost when you execute this skill move. But that is number 2. We're going to jump into the third and final broken game mechanic endgame in FIFA 21. You guys can agree or disagree, but for me, constant pressure still remains one of the most broken game mechanics in FIFA 21 compared to any other year previously. The reason being is because of how intense, you could say, the team pressurizes your opponent when you go to a constant pressure custom tactic. I mean, it was patched, and yes, I understand, lads, that they patched it where they give you less stamina, but if you compare it to previous years, 19, 18, 20, you know, FIFA 21, constant pressure has been overpowered month in, month out. I was going to say year in, year out, wouldn't really make sense, would it? But month in, month out. And it still works, even though EA have patched it. Now, as I was saying, your stamina does go. I do realise that, and that's why for me, constant pressure shouldn't always be used. But if you keep it in your, custom tactic setup, in maybe an ultra defensive setup, you can hit all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the ultra defensive formation setup that you have with constant pressure on, and just put a bit of pressure onto your opponent. And if you do that just a couple of times throughout the game, you know, you might be able to actually utilize that situation to score a goal, quickly get the ball off him and score a goal. And as I said, it's not something to use game in, game out, you know, for the 90 minutes of the game, but using it, you know, every now and then. For me, it makes one of the most overpowered, you know, game mechanics in FIFA 21, and yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous how well it's used this year. Remember, you know, back in the early days, FIFA 21, we were all using constant pressure, you know, and team press as well on the D-pad because of how good it was. It's still good, okay, in my opinion, so it most definitely makes the top 3. But that will seem at the end of the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I am obviously going to be doing tutorials coming in the next few days with your guys' comments that you left on that community post that I did post up. If you haven't yet requested a tutorial, go and check that community post. It is on the channel, and you can comment down your tutorial request for me to upload, and obviously your comment will be featured on the channel. One more thing, lads, is I'm doing tutorials, I'm uploading tutorials on Instagram and TikTok, so go and check them out. Links are in the comment section down below. But as always, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm out. Sayonara, au revoir, adios, and goodbye.